The chill of autumn settled over the small town of Millbury, draping the streets in a tapestry of orange and crimson leaves. The air was thick with the eerie sense of change, a precursor to the cold and dark winter lingering just beyond the horizon. Folks who lived in the town shared whispered tales of Eyeless Jack, a being said to emerge during this time, a shadow that roamed the woods and stalked the fringes of dreams. Claire, a 17-year-old with a penchant for adventure and a heart full of bravado, had heard these stories countless times from her friends. They shivered as they recounted the tale of a faceless figure who descended upon unsuspecting victims, eyes blank as the dark forest itself, leaving behind only a sense of dread and sometimes pieces missing. But Claire didn't believe in such nonsense. She was determined to prove her friends wrong. On the brisk evening of Halloween, with friends daring her to face the woods, Claire's resolve solidified. "I'll find out the truth about Eyeless Jack," she declared, her voice strong. Her friends, seated around the bonfire, gave a collective gasp, urging her to reconsider. "You don't want to mess with that," said Tom, his nerves crackling like the flames. "People don't come back." But Claire, spurred on by a mix of pride and curiosity, pressed on. By the time she entered the dark embrace of the forest, the moon hung high and full, casting a pale light that danced upon the rustling leaves. The scent of damp earth filled the air, and the sounds of nocturnal creatures echoed, but Claire felt as though something else lurked, just beyond her field of view. As she ventured deeper into the woods, memories of her friends' warnings danced in her head, but she pushed forward. Claire felt brave, almost invincible with every step, despite the chill creeping up her spine. She knew she could handle this. After all, what could an old tale do to her? But the further she walked, the more the atmosphere thickened. There was a certain stillness, an unnatural silence that settled as the trees closed in around her. The comforting light of the moon dulled, and she felt a shadow pass over her. A shiver coursed through her, and the air felt heavy. It was as if the forest itself had taken a breath and held it. Then she heard it, a rustle, then an ominous thud that sent her heart racing. Claire quickly turned to find nothing but the trees staring back at her, their branches clutching at the sky like skeletal fingers. A soft whisper floated through the air, almost imperceptible, chilling her to the bone. Claire, her heartbeat thundered in her ears, but a part of her refused to turn back. "Hello?" she called, her voice cracking. "Is anyone there?" Silence answered her, thick and suffocating. Just when she considered retracing her steps, a figure melted from the shadows, gliding with unnatural grace. Claire's blood ran cold as she recognized the form, tall and gaunt, draped in a tattered cloak. But it was the absence of eyes that sent terror coursing through her veins. Eyeless Jack. Rushing terror took over, and she stumbled back, choking on her breath. Jack's face was a pale void where eyes should have been, yet she felt its gaze bore into her soul. He stepped forward, the fog of death swirling around him, a dark mist that seemed to whisper her name. "Claire," it echoed, the voice guttural and hollow, yet somehow achingly familiar. She felt her knees buckle, but there was nowhere to run. Her mind raced, and out of instinct, she shouted, "You're not real. You're just a story." But as the words left her lips, she felt the truth set in. This was no mere tale. Jack lunged forward, and in a panic, she turned to run, her legs pushing through the underbrush, but the forest morphed into a maze. Trees loomed high, their branches clawing at her skin as if they were trying to hold her back. With every frantic breath, she could sense him behind her, always just a step away, as if the woods acted as his ally. In a desperate surge of speed, she tore through the trees until she broke into a clearing, the moon casting eerie shadows around her. She spun to face her pursuer, but he was gone. Gasps filled the air as she scanned her surroundings, the stillness almost mockingly comfortable now that she was in the open. And then she saw them. Shapes huddled around the periphery of the clearing, grotesque replicas of living nightmares, their hollow faces lacking eyes yet oozing despair. They were victims. Lost souls that Eyeless Jack had claimed, forever bound to the forest. Claire realized abruptly that she was not simply running from Jack, she was being drawn in, and escape was a fading hope. A heavy fog rolled into the clearing, filling her lungs with dread. The last thing she felt was a suffocating cold wrap around her, pulling her down into darkness. As her consciousness slipped away, she realized this wasn't about proving a tale wrong. It was about the stories that kept souls captive, those that the forest hungrily consumed. As dawn broke over Millbury, her friends gathered, worry painted across their faces, searching for her.